Hello, and welcome to today's episode. If you've already heard the introduction before, then just skip ahead about 4 minutes. Otherwise, the Bible is referred to as the living Word of God. It isn't a book that is meant simply to be read. It is a perspective-altering substance that is meant to be ingested and absorbed into you. And when it becomes a part of you, it changes you. And that is exactly what it is meant to do. A psalm is a spiritual song based on real-life experiences that reveal a profound, foundational insight that is then expressed in the form of music, which is usually played on a harp. This is my own paraphrase of the Psalms. Now, there is an important difference between a paraphrase and a translation, and it is important to understand what that difference is. A translation takes a text word by word, and it finds the most accurate word in another language to convey the meaning of that original word. But sometimes getting the details right can come at the expense of the big picture. For example, the literal translation for a butt dial and the literal translation for a booty call could end up being exactly the same if they were both translated very literally into another language. But we all know that those are two very different ideas. A paraphrase, on the other hand, is attempting to capture the spirit of the idea that is being expressed, but both approaches come with their own disadvantages. Sometimes the most literal translation for each word, while still technically accurate, also loses something in its translation. For example, if you were to translate the phrase, "cat got your tongue," into another language, it would make no sense to them. Why would a cat grab your tongue? What are you even talking about? In order to convey the original idea, you would have to find out which saying is used in that other language to express the same concept. But it might not involve a cat, or even any animal at all. And so the literal translation would not be a very accurate one. But in a case like the one that I just described, the idea is more important than sticking to a very literal translation that also loses all of its intended meaning. However, because paraphrases are an individual's interpretation of the underlying idea instead of a rigorous academic translation of the word, they are not as objectively accurate as a translation is. A paraphrase is a lot more subjective, and that makes it much more susceptible to interpretations that are way off the mark of the original text's intent. The focus of a translation is on detailed accuracy, and sometimes the broader picture is not conveyed very clearly as a result. The focus of a paraphrase is on painting that big picture, but it often loses the accuracy of the finer details. Both are useful as long as you understand which is which and what the disadvantages to each approach are. And that is why I recommend using both an accurate translation like the New American Standard and a responsible paraphrase. Psalm 41, to the music leader, a psalm of David. How blessed are those who take the time to care for the people who are vulnerable and in need. For when their own time of calamity comes, the Most High will be there to deliver them. The Most High will protect and preserve them. He will bring them fully to life, so that they will be happy on whatever piece of earth that they live on. You will not allow them to fall prey to the whims of their enemies. For the Most High transforms even their weakness, and he flips their entire sickbed on its head. When they are suffering and deteriorating in bedridden illness, you nurse them back to strength and restore them to a state of health. So I called out to you, Most High, extend your compassion to me. In your mercy, heal the wounded depths of my soul. For I have mutilated my own core being each time that I aimed beneath you. My enemies wish for evil things to happen to me. They don't even hesitate to voice their cruel desires out loud, saying, when will he simply die, so that his entire legacy can die along with him? Even if one of them comes to visit me, it is only an empty gesture. They try to deceive me with their insincere words, but all the while, in their hearts, the only thing they really want is to collect gossip about me, so that they can entertain other people on the street with their unfeeling mischief. All those who hate me slander me to one another in hushed whispers. They hope to hurt me by imagining the worst and by spreading the ugly rumors that they invented, saying, a shameful form of disease has taken hold of him, and now that he is bound to his bed by this evil fate that he brought on himself, he will never be able to leave it again. Even my intimate friend, to whom I gave my trust, who sat beside me at my own table, and who ate my bread with me, has turned around and kicked me in the gut. But you, Most High, be merciful to me, and lift me to my feet once more, so that I can pay them back as they deserve. For I know that you are pleased with me based on the fact that you do not allow my enemies to stand over me and shout in victory. For you support me in my integrity. You hold me together in my innocence, and you permanently bring me into your own presence to gaze into your face forever. Truly, from the side of eternity that stretches beyond the horizon of the past, to the side of eternity that extends beyond the horizon of the future, the Most High, the God of Israel, is the epitome of everything that is valuable. That is a fact, and it is a certain fact. I pray that whatever voice God might choose to give me in this world, he would also give me the words that I should use it for. These words have meaning for me, and if they had some meaning for you as well, then I am truly grateful that we have both been given a gift from above, and from each other. Have a good day out there, my friends.